When you think of Activision on the Atari 2600, the first games that probably come to mind are titles such as River Raid, Chopper Command, Keystone Capers, Enduro, or Hero, heck, any number of titles really. Activision made a ton of fantastic games on the original Atari, but here's one I'd never heard of until now, Beamrider. Beamrider was originally programmed by David Ralph, who coincidentally also programmed Frogs and Flies, which was featured in last week's episode. This game was initially released on the Intellivision in 1983 and later ported to the Atari VCS, among other things. First up, let's take a moment to appreciate the box art. The Beamrider box looks like an album cover from Electric Light Orchestra or something. This is just fantastic in every way and might be one of my top 5 Atari boxes of all time. As for the game, okay, so here's the story. A web of iridescent blue beams is now engulfing the Earth, and on those beams are, well, a bunch of aliens. Hordes of them, and they're evil, of course. The manual notes there are 99 levels of these beams that make up this restrictor shield that's now surrounding the Earth. You take up the mantle as the Beamrider, Earth's lone defense against the alien threat. Your mission is to ride the beams and take out each wave of aliens one after another. Gameplay consists of behind-the-ship action in a tilted 3D perspective. When you start each wave, you're technically inside the space station. Move the joystick to initiate the launch sequence and then you're riding the beams. You move the ship left and right, skipping from beam to beam as aliens scroll in and out of the foreground. Fire lasers at the enemies by pressing the button, and there's also other obstacles you'll have to dodge, such as asteroids. You also get 3 torpedoes, which you can fire by pressing up on the joystick. The torpedoes have a longer range, so you'll want to actually save those for the final boss. You can also get power-ups along the way that give you extra lives, but don't shoot the power-ups or they turn into deadly projectiles that hurtle rapidly towards you. Each wave consists of 15 alien saucers, and there's a little counter in the corner to let you know how many you have left. Once you destroy all of the saucers, you have to fight an alien sentinel ship, and you'll need your torpedoes for this since the lasers don't have long enough range. This can be tricky since there will be all sorts of obstacles getting thrown at you, which can get in the way of your torpedoes. The good news is you don't necessarily have to destroy the sentinel, and it's only on screen for a brief period of time. If you're not able to destroy it, you'll still get to proceed to the next wave, but you get massive bonus points if you're able to take it out, so it's definitely worth the effort. After that, it's on to the next wave where you launch and do the whole thing over again. This game is nice enough to reload your torpedoes each time, and of course there is progressive difficulty as you go. But one of my favorite things about this is the increased difficulty feels a lot more manageable compared to some other Atari games. With a lot of games, after the first or second wave, it just goes haywire, and you can't reasonably get much further, but with Beamrider, I felt like it was a natural progression, and one game actually lasted quite a long time. You'll also start to see a wide variety of enemies the further you go. Is that one of the barrels from Donkey Kong? The play control is as smooth as you could want, and like most Activision titles, Beamrider high scores were eligible to send in for a special patch. The cutoff was wave 14 and a score of at least 40,000 points. Overall, I have to say this game is one of the best games I've ever played on the Atari 2600, definitely in my top 15 or 20 of all time, and that's why I'm really kind of surprised I don't see this one on more lists out there. It must have flown under a lot of people's radars for one reason or another. The graphics are simple but effective, and I really like the 3D effect with the beams going toward the horizon. The ships all look really cool, and I really like the look of the boss sentinel ship even though you only see it on screen for a short period of time. The game also runs especially smooth considering what all is going on here, with no real slowdown or flickering to speak of. I like that the difficulty progression is somewhat fair and manageable and doesn't go completely off the rails out of the gate either. Now, unfortunately, if you want to own a physical copy of Beamrider, it's gonna cost you. They run anywhere from $30 loose to over $150 in the box, but I do strongly urge you to play this one however possible if you've never tried it before. It's a stellar piece of Atari 2600 programming, and I wish I would have had this one growing up. Hey, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be streaming from time to time over on the Twitch. I'll still be uploading regular episodes here on the main channel, but from time to time when I'm recording footage for upcoming episodes, I'll do it over on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/FridayNightArcade. I probably won't have a set schedule, but I'll post on Twitter when I'm about to go live each week, so keep an eye on that. I'll stream on Twitch when I'm recording footage or if I'm just playing random stuff that I enjoy, and I'll upload the bestest bits over on my side channel on YouTube at Friday Night Arcade Plays. As always, thank you for watching, and hope to see you soon over at twitch.tv/Friday Night Arcade. Well, what did you think? Had you ever heard of Beamrider before, and if so, did you play it growing up or maybe discover it more recently? What are some other Atari 2600 titles that have gone under the radar you'd like to see covered here? Also, I've done a couple dozen Atari episodes already, so you may want to check out this playlist. There's a chance your favorite game was already covered in one of them. As always, thank you for watching. Please don't text and drive, and I'll see you next time on Friday Night Arcade.